the teenagers make a fateful decision. They decide to start talking on videotape.
This is my first rape. I never did this before in the schoolroom. My last time doing it.
After a night in police custody, Kevin Richardson starts to talk, implicating himself in this night of mayhem, with numerous assaults and possibly the rape of Tricia Miley.
Everybody was around her, and I came over there.
And it's not just Richardson. Other teenagers are implicating themselves on video too.
I started hitting that stuff, and she's on the ground. Everybody stomping and everything.
All of them except Yusef Salaam. He never goes on video and never makes a written statement.
When I first saw those tapes, I didn't disbelieve them. Like anybody else, when I watch a confession tape, my first impulse is, whoa, an innocent person really wouldn't do that.
But you told that to the police before, was it true?
I don't remember saying it.
My second impulse is to listen to the details and to be influenced by them.
How did those marks get on her head? I shouldn't say that those aren't the marks of a knife. She has a fractured skull. She was hit with a very, very heavy object there. Corey, you saw that picture. You don't get these lines. You don't get a fractured skull.
It more looks like it's like a rock.
When you watch Corey, it's almost like he's desperate to get it right. He tells one story at this moment, he tells this story at another moment. Well, yeah, when you look at false confession cases, it's because when they told the truth, you didn't believe them and you made them change it.
Of course, there are going to be some inconsistencies between the statements. And in my experience, when you take statements, there's kind of a range, right?
Meanwhile, Tricia Miley is clinging to life in the hospital.
She was in a coma for a week, and then she started opening her eyes and looking around.
Little did she know she was waking up into a media firestorm.
A terror spree through Central Park.
They found her and they gang raped her.
The shockwaves of the tragedy felt both north and south of the park.
It took politics, power, rape, racial politics, controversy.
And it all contributed to this heightened sense of fear in New York and this thirst for vengeance.
The first trial involved 3 defendants, Raymond Santana, Antron McCray, and Yusef Salaam. Clearly, the statements were the most important evidence.
The looks on the jurors' faces when they watched those videotapes told a devastating story for the defense.
It's clear, as it has been for a year, that prosecutors will depend on videotape statements by the suspects themselves. But when the defense went on offense this afternoon, its strategy also became clear. The teen's lawyers say confessions were cleverly staged.
There was a huge problem in this case. They didn't have DNA evidence against these defendants. They didn't have physical evidence against these defendants.
So we as prosecutors were completely upfront with the jury about the fact that semen had been recovered from Tricia Miley, the female jogger, which did not match any of the people that were on trial.
After 10 days of deliberations, the verdict: Yusef Salaam, Raymond Santana, and Antron McCray, all 16, were convicted of the rape and assault of the Central Park jogger.
The next trial was Kevin Richardson and Corey Wise, and once again the prosecution relied on those confessions.
Tape was brutal. In fact, it was so graphic, some of the jurors, at least a couple of them, looked like they were having a hard time watching it.
In the second trial, the jury struggled with Corey Wise's confessions. There were 2 statements. They were all over the place. The facts were contradictory, self-contradicted.
I didn't believe that he had anything to do with the rape. Corey Wise's confession didn't make any sense. Several of the jurors kept at me and at me. They pushed me to go to the other direction, and I wish to God I just hung the jury on that. And that's been my biggest regret for 30 years.
Terry Wise found guilty of sexual abuse, first-degree assault, and riot. Then, with respect to Kevin Richardson, guilty on every charge,